Here we go. You might think otherwise because I've been here so many times and I've known about it for so long, but turns out 60 episodes later, or however long it's been, still confusing as hell to navigate the Forbidden Oasis with all of its multiple levels and non-linear bridge and cave systems where you're trying to figure out, oh gosh dang it, how do I get back to that spot? So, I could start the fire path, which, frankly, for a well-rounded perspective, probably the smart thing to do, but nope. I believe I already finished Spirit, I think, so now, and I finally have enough to open the next, and I believe final door in the cold cave, so making some good progress here at completing this entire place, although I still need more, obviously, if I'm going to complete fire. Don't know how long this... oh, there's a thing over here. Don't know how long this progression system goes. Like, I don't know if you can complete every single possible direction. Also, there's a weird front door that is separate from these three. What I kind of think is maybe you open all three doors for all three paths, and then after that you can use your even more shards to open up that extra door, maybe. Or maybe it opens the moment you finish all these. Who knows? Anything that takes this much investment to go through probably has like a final stage of some kind. Man, those shards took so long to collect, and they get put in there so fast. The Cold Endured, quest completed. Who are we gonna fight? It's a Revenant! I'm gonna taunt the Revenant! Oh, that's a lot of enemies. AoE! Everyone look at me! Everyone look at me! Everyone look at me! Aggro! Aggro! Oh no, Cole's down! I'm invincible! I'm just spamming attacks at this point, doesn't even make sense. I'm just trying to get everyone to pay attention to me. It's not necessarily working. I'm in full dumb mode right now. Oh god. Oh god. Please heal. There we go. I'm in pretty dumb mode right now, where all I'm doing is, because I know that I'm just walking into one room and murdering some dudes and then moving on, because these aren't very challenging things, I was like, fuck it, 3 rogues, we don't need a healer. I mean, we don't need a mage with their pesky barriers. I'll just run in as Vasti, who I don't even know how to control that well because he just got a new moveset. It'll be fine. The secret's to spam, I just have to use Walking Fortress over and over again, right? Frank, which I say that now, but I haven't been using it as much as I should be, even based on that, because I'm... Alright, everything's fine. Everything turned out fine. Just Cole died. He's used to that. He's not even a real person anyway. I made sure of that. Haha. That was the master plan all along. If I make him more like a spirit, I don't have to feel bad when he dies. So there is a quantity of loot around here. Oh, these have to have already been here. It's just random gold on the floor. Not a lot either. Part of me, I think, if I was just trying to save time purely and like just do smart decisions all the time, I guess would be the way to put it, I probably wouldn't even pick up this gold. In general, in these types of zones, grappling. I don't really use grappling chain. Actually, I don't think my character has grappling chain right now. Grappling chain's handy for controlling fights, of getting a specific character off of a specific enemy, but it's just, I don't know, it's hard for me to justify keeping it on my character. One of my issues I run into in Dragon Age Inquisition was that once the game added the extra character classes, the 4th class per character, it got a lot harder for me to justify keeping certain skills around because they restrict you to only 8, which is fine. It's a strategic thing to do that to people. Like, that was the thing about Guild Wars 1, is that in the first Guild Wars game you get an incredible amount of skills because you get 2 entire classes in their entirety and get to combine them, but you can only have like 6 moves on your action bar in that game, I think. And like, so this game does the same thing. You have so many skills but only 8 slots, so you have to pick and choose. Like in your main character's case, you have to pick and choose which of the 2 focus abilities you want to keep on your character, because like right now I'm using the one that makes me really hard to... It's the one where everyone attacks me and I automatically parry them, so it's like a super taunt, and I figure that's a good tanking one, as opposed to the Rift one, which is a cool attack too, but I just had to pick one of them, unfortunately, because you only get 8 skills, even though you probably have points in like 4 different trees. That's only like 2 skills per tree, potentially. By default, I tend to... So we get 30% cold resistance and an amulet of power for Vasti. Hey! Did that happen last time? Oh, do I get an amulet of power every time I finish one of these? I don't think I put 2 and 2 together, or maybe I did, but it's been like 20 episodes since last time I opened one of these doors, so I just forgot. Those are both entirely possible. Anyway, the belts of resistance you get from here make it easy to... There we go, amulet of power. I'm currently using a Constitution amulet on this character. There might be better things, I suppose. I feel like him having a lot of hit points is just a handy thing to do. So what am I going to spend that point on? Oh, I just respect my character, so it's a little confusing. Oh, wait, I think I wanted to upgrade to the death. While to the death is active, your guard improves as your target takes damage and you correct weaknesses of your own. Yeah, it's a super taunt that pretty much guarantees I'm going to take extra damage, so it makes sense to me to be like, blammo, extra guard. It also means that almost everything... there's a handful of exceptions, but it means that almost everything on my entire bar, almost every move I do, is basically going to increase my guard, which seems like a worthwhile thing to do. Let's head back real quick. Just before I leave, I want to see if I have enough leftover shards to open the first fire door or not. How are we doing on potions? We used 4. That was to be expected. I'll pop one right now for this character. And why not? Do Varric too. Now, even if we do open this door, it's not going to be threatening because it's the first one. Can I do it? I can. No, I can't. How many do I have? I have 5 out of 6. Okay. So I need 1 more shard to proceed, unfortunately, but still. I'm more than happy to have completed the first big branch, the second big branch, and having another skill point for Vasti. That's absolutely great. There's no interaction with this door? No. This door looks like it opens, so I assume it opens when I get that opened. When I get everything else open downstairs. Anyway, that's it for this area. So I'll see you guys in my next little journey. Oh, this is a good sign. Discovered Old Prison Road. So I'm at this bridge that I'm pretty sure I had to reconstruct. We're in the western approach. There's that one keep the first keep I ever took over. Here's the bridge I'd take here. By the way, 3 mages because no one tells me what to do. I'm pretty sure I probably had to do an operation to build... Yeah, I think I remember having to do an operation to build that bridge, and it was separate from the one way down there where I did it for the other poison thing, so... This must have been an operation that I did, I assume. And I get the feeling that if I go down this path, down this way that it's leading to, since I just discovered this place, meaning I've never been here before, I think that means I'm going to discover how to get to this mysterious place. I know, I keep saying I'm going to do the next story mission, but this is confounding to me. There's a whole region here, and it has a Blackwall mission, it has a Cassandra mission, and it has a camp, and I'm like, how do I get in there? I need to know how to get it. I'm like, it bothers me that the western approach... I've done massive quest chains here. I killed the dragon. Still don't have access to that zone. Almost every other zone I've been to besides the hinterlands because it's disgustingly long and I'd have to take it in shifts basically. Every other zone I've gone to, I've pretty much completed every quest in aside from really specific stuff like find everything. Because sometimes I just don't want to scrape every square foot of the universe trying to find the next thing I can unlock. Oh, there. Both shards spotted just like that. Okay. I might be going back... I might take a quick trip back to that ruin to open another door, because I only needed 1. And there's number, right there, there's number 2. Hey, asshole. Asshole. Sit down. Oh, you made me miss with your knockback. Sorry for the cough. What I've been finding here is that, oh yeah, having three archers around is pretty funny, I gotta say. Because when I have all the... I'm not archers. Whoa! What's happening there? Oh god. It's freaking out. Oh, it's gone now. Jeez. Okay, so that thing it's a necromancer. It's charmed by my necromancer, Dorian, and it has a spinning green thing around. Green. I think that's what Solus's abilities look like. Sit down. You take a seat. Behave yourself. Let me build guard off of you for free. I think Solus's projectiles tend to look green, so I assumed that was homing in on that enemy, but he became a necromancer target, so it was infinitely homing in on him and moving quite fast, but it couldn't hit him because he was an ally, because, let's pick up this resource while I'm here. Oh no, it's floating freely from the wall, it's not actually in the wall. Oh, it wasn't in the rock. That's unfortunate. Hey friend, how you doing? Take a seat! Did I miss him again? There we go. Don't ignore me! I'm the tank, pay attention to me! I'm very narcissistic. Look, fight to the death! Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Now sit down. Keep paying attention to me while you're sitting down. Yeah, it's not very fair when it's 4-on-1. Still, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good idea to go charging through and aggro them all at once, although it could be fun. I am finding that it's pretty funny having a party of 3 mages. Oh, what's that? What's that? Is that an ally? Is it one of those giant people from the swamp? Because last time I met one of them, he became my ally. But he might just be another third party, and they were just fighting each other, and now they're going to fight me. Kind of like when you fight someone who's fighting wildlife, and now everyone's mad at you. Oh, yep, it's a Herlock Alpha. Yeah, he's not here to play. It's hard to tell when they're that big. I mean, it's hard to tell from a distance what someone is sometimes. So, at first I was like, is that the, Ow! Yep, just keep focused on me and we're fine. Ow, dick. Walking Fortress! Now what are you gonna do about it? Huh? What are you gonna do now? You're gonna be frozen is what you're gonna do. Shatter combo. Oh, no, I just used my shield, which could have broken his, guard. But the guard's broken anyway. Turns out all these mages at once. Except, oh god, the giant Herlock Alpha's on my team now. That's fantastic. So this whole area is, for the most part, this area was too low for me. Am I going to exit combat? Because that looks like a thing I can use. This area is mostly too low for me, but this specific region I'm entering seems to have scaled relatively high. These enemies are like level 15 and 16. I can't use those scrolls. I was hoping that that would do something. How are you doing on potions? We've used none of them. Turns out having 3 mages that all have barriers is kind of badass. It makes it kind of hard for stuff to go wrong with my party, doesn't it? Fight to the death! AoE aggro! Everyone look at me! I'm Walking Fortress now, you can't hurt me. Lols. It is funny that the MO for the champion seems to be aggro everyone onto you and then go into a mode where no one can hurt you. So it's like, everyone, you have to fight me and only me, LOL, that's the rules. Like you do as like a kid, like a 5-year-old making up rules. Like, everyone has to hit me, also you can't hurt me, those are the rules. Which is like, when, yeah, it's basically like when a child is in control of like all of his friends, being like, making up all the rules for the game, and then he completely makes the rules so that he can't ever lose. 24 to 25, prison ruins. Making progress here. That's every region discovered except for one, and I assume that the one region that's not discovered yet is this middle area. I suspect that these 2 gates that I couldn't open before, I probably just have to open them from behind, and this is probably my secret back door. So I'm glad to be doing this because I was worried that this place was just going to be unfulfilled for a while. Looks like focus comes back relatively fast. I used my power. I used my focus ability at level 2 when I was in that last anything here. When I was in that area where we were opening the doors with the shards, and after a few fights, it's already looks like it's about to have 1 full meter, so I can do focus level 1 again, or 2 if I wait a bit longer. That sure looks like a keep of some kind. Does this is that an oculate? That was an astrarium up there. Whoa! I haven't done an astrarium in forever. I'm looking forward to that. Guys, I think I might just finish this zone before I go on to the next story mission, just because completionism, right? I started it and I'm finally finishing it. It might take a little longer than I originally anticipated, but I think I'm going to just commit to doing it. I am aware though that it's been a long time since I did the last story mission. I try to space them out relatively evenly, but I might be going a little too long this time, but that's because the Exalted Plains was very big, and I kept expecting it to be almost over, and then it was like, nope, 4 more episodes. I'm like, oh my god, there's a whole side dungeon in here too? Like, it just kept expanding in ways that I didn't expect. Man, I hope... I'm sure I'll be fine with the Astrarium. For a second there, I was like, man, I sure hope I know how to do those still, but now I remember... I'll be fine. Hey guys, you wanna come play with me? Come fight me! That was probably not a good target for that move. Oh well, I'll be fine. The important thing is to block some dudes. Oh, or I could jump out of the... Oh, it was going away anyway. Walking Fortress! AoE taunt! Suck it, guys, you can't hurt me right now. And you're not allowed to attack anybody else. LOL. That one archer's dead by now, right? Yeah, he's dead. I triggered fight to the death on him so that he could only fight me, but then I completely started to ignore him and just assumed someone else was going to take care of him. Which is probably a dangerous thing for the tank to do, because I specifically put him in a mode where he's going to do more damage and can only attack me. But if I keep using guard abilities, I'm sure I'll just keep ahead of that curve. Yeah, I've got full guard, full health, and pretty full barrier. Because it turns out having 3 mages that are all spirit mages in one way or another, kind of makes it easy to keep everyone alive. I wonder, like, is this just like the secret to winning this game? Basically, is just, hey, 3 spirit mages, you're set. They're not all spirit mages, obviously, because all of them have investment in their personal all of them are very heavily invested in their character-specific tree, but for all of them, their secondary tree is spirit, because I wanted to make it so I could take them all out with me individually and not without having to also bring another mage to be the spirit mage, because for most party compositions, I see spirit mages as being more or less mandatory, just because the barrier is so vital for hit point preservation when in a game where you don't have heals. So basically, having a barrier mage is like having a healer in the party, which is like anyone who's played most RPGs, that's just taken for granted as being a requirement. So let's see if I can do this Astrarium on my first try. That doesn't look too complicated. Oh. That looks a little more complicated. Oh shit. This one, first of all, this thing I'm highlighting right now, not a real point. That's not even used on the diagram at any point. I'll give it a quick go to see how I do. But I might have trouble here. Let's see. Nah, shit. Yeah, we have a problem. Because I need to go to connect to this point and like that. Alright. What if we started at a different location? Let's try starting at the far point. Huh. The tough part is having an exit strategy, because the problem they're giving me here is that a lot of these shapes are triangles, so it's difficult to make a triangular shape and then have a way of leaving said shape afterwards, because you usually get sent back to the spot where you started. This isn't a real point, is it either? Is it? Yeah. This point and this point are both fake. Weird. But yeah, it's difficult to make a... I'm already screwed, aren't I? It's actually a little... Oh! I may have accidentally solved it. Hang on a second. I think I did it. Ta-da! It's a wolf! The winter is coming. I'm completely shocked. Constellation Fenrir. You mean it's the generic fantasy word that everyone uses to represent a wolf? From Norse mythology? Which is weird. A little weird that everyone uses Norse mythology terms for their supposedly unique and not based on a history fantasy realms. But anyway, Constellation Fenrir, called White Wolf in common parlance. Fenrir has always been considered an oddity among scholars, primarily because wolves have no special place within the ancient Vinter folklore. To many, this represents the strongest argument that the Imperium deliberately supplanted older elven constellation names. In the case of Fenrir, in alignment with the elven trickster god Fen-Haral would be logical. Others claim a much older Neromenian tale of a wolf escaping hunters by fleeing into the sky. By fleeing into the sky exists? Oh. They're saying that a tale of this exists. That was such a weird structure of the sentence that completely threw me off. But the legend's veracity has never been proven from a study of Thedosian astronomy by Sister Oren Petrarchus. Wow. It has truly been a long time since we've been to an astrarium and read anything that was written by Petrarchus. There's going to be one more astrarium hidden inside of here. I wonder, as I have to go to the Emerald... Is it called the Emerald Graves? Wait. Shit. There's an emerald place in the World of Warcraft lore, so now I'm having troubles in my head differentiating the emerald place from the name of the emerald location in Warcraft and the emerald location in Dragon Age. Not vital, it's fine. But the emerald place, and then of course the last big tough area that I believe has multiple dragons in it. I wonder if either of those are going to have astrariums, because we are running out of locations in this game. I'm very aware of the fact that this series is drawing to a close over time. We have like 2 zones left to explore, maybe finishing the hinterlands, and then I think maybe 3 story missions left. So we're running out of game relatively quickly. But I'm okay with that. We've had a very long run. Coracavus. I assume that that's just a elevator? Is there any way to access this ladder up here? No? I just believe the only way to proceed is just to go down. I'm sure we'll be fine. We're all gonna die. I probably should sub Cassandra and Blackwall into my party so we can do their specific quests. Oh, Oh, a loading screen. We're actually getting a whole dungeon now. I was just expecting us to go downstairs.
Stay on guard.
Coracavus, discovered north prisoner entrance. Codex unlocked Coracavus. Ooh, I like codexes. Coracavus. On the edge of the Empire, they erected a prison, Coracavus, the Dark Pit. Far removed from the cultural heart of the Imperium, Coracavus held and meted out punishment to local peoples who denied Tevinter's claims to the region, and to so-called loyal citizens who believed living on the fringes of civilization would grant them immunity from the Imperium's laws. In a few cases, political prisoners who could not be sentenced with execution were sent to Coracavus instead. It was widely known that bribes bought nothing there, and having the right name would not be rewarded with leniency. It's said that upon hearing their judgments, these individuals begged for death. From A Brief History of the Imperium, Volume 3, by Tyrus Altium. I gotta say, if I had the opportunity to redesign, I might have said this before, frankly, if I ever repeat myself, you just have to accept that, because we're in like episode 90 plus of a series that has 40-minute episodes. It's like getting mad at Bernie Burns for repeating something on the Rooster Teeth podcast. It's like, it's episode 300. What do you want from us? I can't remember what I said. Is the guards hall this way, or there's something else this way? So this is the Trouble with Darkspawn quest. Might as well look into that. The Venatori, led by Service, were excavating when they accidentally broke into Darkspawn-infested tunnels. Service has since fled the vicinity. So we've had a lot of information about the Darkspawn problem here. And now we're here to solve it. So do I go down this hallway, or do I... Oh, well, now they're aggroed on us, so that... Suppose that answers my question. I think we're going to be able to manage. We do have like a 4 or 5 level advantage right now. And a lot of barriers, which is fun. It's pretty badass because we have Vivian being her usual Knight Enchanter self, just wailing on people and having near infinite amounts of barrier. We have Dorian being a necromancer, panicking people and generally making them not react properly and losing control of their characters, while also taking one of them and making them on our team at some point, which is nice. And that by the way, that I upgraded that I upgraded the charm ability, so when you make someone on our team after they die, they stay that way for 45 seconds, so that could easily last into the next fight in many cases, which is neato. And then Solus weakens everybody, so we have someone who panics people, someone who weakens people, and someone who has ridiculous berry generation. I believe all of them have the spell Revival, so I think if anyone goes down, they're just going to get back up, so who cares? Like, I could reasonably disable potion use in this party, and people would probably be okay. I don't know why I would do that, because if I just blanket disable potions all the time, then why do they exist? So, not much reason to. But I don't know if we need potions in this situation, because everyone can revive. I'm pretty sure everyone can revive. They have different levels of upgrade, but everyone has. I believe everyone in this party has revive, dispel, and barrier. Someone trying to make it more interesting would probably respec 2 of the characters when I was bringing them all out here, but. It was just for a brief moment, like, I want to figure out...
We should seal the tunnel before more Darkspawn join us.
Oh, we can seal it. Okay. In my head, I was just like, oh, we're gonna wander over here and finally figure out how to open this goddamn door. So, this wasn't the type of thing that I would invest the time in just to respec everyone, was what I figure. But, it's certainly a fun scenario. I'm half tempted to take them into the next story mission and just have, like, an army of people that are just wrecking shop, because we have it... On top of having an incredibly hard-to-kill tank, which is what I am, we have 3 characters with barrier. I'm not playing my character very well right now, am I? I'm just kind of pressing buttons. Whoopsie. But let's just switch. I'll switch to Solus. I like playing as Solus anyway. For me, when you have a party-based game with everyone running around, there's kind of an appeal to playing as one of the characters that's not moving all the time, because you get to watch everyone else doing their thing from a distance more. Gotta stay on top of my barrier usage, though. I gotta remember that I'm one of the people that's supposed to use it. Granted, when I was playing as Solus, I mean Vasti, I wasn't necessarily staying on top of my guard generating abilities either. It's very easy to go into a mode, and I think this might be why you watch some Let's Players and they don't seem to play games very well sometimes. particularly in these really complicated games, is sometimes you're trying to do commentary, and if the game's not actively challenging you, it can be a little too easy to sort of sit back and just enjoy the visuals and talk and just have a nice little conversation with yourself, because you're a crazy person who talks to themselves for several hours a day in a quiet room. That's not... I'm sure that won't be damaging for my psyche when I'm 50 or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be fine, is what Dahmer said. Where's that hole in the wall? Also, I've dropped like 17 different conversation topics to get interrupted by other topics in my own head, and have not followed up on half of them. Whoops. But yeah, I didn't respect because it just made sense not to. But now I'm kind of tempted to bring this group into the next story mission, because it could be funny having 3 people with revive and 3 people with barrier on top of your tank that's almost unkillable because he's a really strong champion with really good equipment. So I don't know, it could be amusing. Also, having all mages around has potential for interesting dialogue. Faded interrogation notes. The faded ink of this parchment suggests it is from a prison's records. Let none be so foolish as to deny the power born of affection. Mark my words, for death would only bear a martyr. Persuade Talvis to speak the truth. Permit that honeyed tongue to undo its own mischief. They think to question the Archon's authority, to deny his reach. Will they do so once their beloved Iunia, I'm gonna call her Iunia and just commit to that. Will they do so once their beloved Iunia sings the magistrate's praises? Should Talvis prove unreasonable, remove her teeth. One wonders how much charm she will wield without a handsome smile. So, they're definitely ruthless in their use of this prison to completely undermine political figures and so on. This is a dark place. A missing slave. In Tevinter, a slave is invisible. Even though the entire empire rests on our backs, our hands build the walls of Minrathis and carry its wealth along the crumbled roads. Scribes like myself take diction and write letters that shift the balance of power. My daughter, Leonora, a kitchen slave, works night and day so Magister Delphine isn't troubled by a torn robe or a cold supper. Normally I met Leonora about the kitchens, but it has been days since our paths crossed. No one has seen her. I can't help but think that the old stories that cross the slave markets like lightning. I can't help but believe the old stories that cross the slave markets like lightning. How, centuries ago, the ancients built their cities with blood magic, raising the very towers and walls with terrible rituals, using our lives as fuel. Thousands of slaves were sacrificed as we were forced onto the altars of the old gods. Magister Delphine's perfect marble-faced mansion likely stands on the back of 100 voiceless elves. But that was a different time. Andraste's words against blood magic made the practice all but forbidden and shunned. Though we may be punished, few slaves are dragged to the altar or milked of blood without at least some reprimand. Yet Leonora is missing, and the Magister Delphine seems indifferent. She carries an aura she never had before, and rumors fly that a bitter rival has been publicly humiliated in a duel of magic. Through my grief, I fear, I know, that Leonora's life was the price. I ache to speak as an equal with the Magister Delphine, to demand answers, but such an audience would be a joke to her. No one sees a slave. Written in secret by slave scribe Solvarin Bran. 865 blessed. That's so reminiscent of not Necromancer, Necroscope. There we go. I read Necroscope. That, by the way, that is worth checking out if you like, if you're into like horror novels and vampires and stuff like that. Like not the recent trend of romance vampires, but like everything's fucked up and brutal and disgusting and horrible, and there's gore and metamorphosing and like really fucked up stuff happening all the time. Necroscope is like a 13-part horror series. How do I close this hole? Also, where's the hole that I'm supposed to close? It must be behind this door, maybe? Oh no. Oh wait, I can just, it doesn't say find tools. Come on. Come on. Oh god, am I totally fucked because I can't open this door? Oh no. Oh wait, there's a hallway down there. Can I just walk down there? Oh wait, that's all I'm trying to do is go that way. might have to come back later with a rogue to open that door up. Maybe an awkward jump cut. That's the reason why you want a rogue in the party. Now I remember why it's not a great idea to have a exclusively mage party. God, can you imagine that? A 4-mage party? Someone has to have done that. That's probably a thing on YouTube already. The idea of like, there's 4 mages in the party because the player character is also a mage, and maybe the player character is a knight enchanter. Oh god, what if the player character and Vivian are both knight enchanters, and then you also have Solus and god, you'd have a necromancer, and you'd have... So you'd have your debuffer, you'd have your terror character slash have an extra fighter character with the charm ability. Then you'd have 2 knight enchanters with seemingly infinite barrier and massive reduction to cooldown because of how much they spam their blade attack, meaning that they can cast stuff like revive at a moment's notice all the time. Wrapped prison key. A crumpled note. There was nothing to indicate this place was built over an old Deep Roads entrance. While the complications with Darkspawn were unfortunate, we've dealt with the pack that emerged, and I will hear no further talk of it. We have enough to secure the South Dig site. You will continue to work in the corridors, and you will do so without complaint. Alternatively, we could use you as a distraction should more Darkspawn hinder our efforts. You serve Coracavus either way. Service. Crumpled, fucked up note from...
Venatori. They've been excavating. I take it breaking into Darkspawn tunnels wasn't part of the plan.
Huh. They're talking about the whole Venatori thing like we just found out about it, but the quest log already explained it was a Venatori dig site where they encountered Darkspawn. Maybe they accidentally updated the quest log to say stuff that the characters weren't supposed to know yet. Either way, things have not turned out well for them. In the least. This is a cool visual, though. I really enjoy some of the places you get to see around here. Western Approach might be one of my favorite regions. I love the big open area with varied enemies. And then there's the keep, and there's 2 dungeons in this area. There's this one, and there's the one where everything was locked in place. Like, that was cool. A whole dungeon where everyone's locked in time and not able to move. Like, there's some cool stuff happening in this specific region. Whereas the Exalted Plains was kind of like, here's an open place. Alright, let's go burn some bodies. More zombies.
Wonderful.
Oh, fuck. Well, hello, friend. How you doing? Oh, that's cool. I know. Fight to the death. This'll be a reasonable approach. Just aggro on him and... Oh, wait. Shit. Dude, I used fight to the death. You're supposed to pay attention to me. No, pay attention to me. Dude, I used the ability that's like super aggro. You're supposed to look at me. Look at me. No, look at me. Look at me. Giant. Giant, you're being rude. You're not paying attention to your guests. First of all, I just want to say... where's Dorian, first of all? Where's Dorian? Wait, the camera's not snapping to these people. That's awkward. Vivian, you can do what you want. Who's this person right here? That's Dorian? Dorian, just back off. And Solus isn't here. But Solus, you back off too. Hopefully, we can get him to pay attention to us and also not AoE our mages while we're hanging out here. Come on, buddy. Look at me. Look at me. Fucking focus ability. You have to look. You have to pay attention to me. Why did I do that? That was a waste. I didn't. He took so long to lose hit points for a while that I thought this was going to be a long
Men
fight.
here were laborers. Someone must have been coordinating their efforts. I doubt they stuck around to fend off Darkspawn.
That was an absolute waste of my ability on accident. What happened is he was losing hit points so slowly that I thought it was going to be a super long fight. Then I looked up one moment later. It's like, oh, he only has 10% hit points now. When did that happen? I assumed that there was some ability that sort of accumulates damage over time that someone used, and that's what happened, perhaps? Maybe. But anyway, the reason I brought up Necroscope is because it's like a 13-book series, mostly focusing on events that take place on the planet Earth, here, where so it's like vampires in cities and stuff like that, and having secret vampire dens and fucked up stuff happening, and people dying in horrible ways, but then the main character has like time travel capabilities and the ability to he starts getting more and more ridiculous abilities because his ability is that he is a necroscope, which is that he can talk to people from beyond the grave, and the way they expand that is, I'll get to this in a second. Venatori plans. You do well to muzzle your doubt. Our information was passed down to Lucanus from Coracavus' most trusted servants. Be grateful you were chosen to come at all. Think of the power locked in these wastes. We need only to find it. Once liberated, we shall never rely on tinctures of lyrium or crude blood work again. Is that not worth any risk, to become a little god like ourselves? Tell me the thought holds no appeal. We must exhaust every lead, however faint it might be. To do less is to dishonor him. I must check our progress at Echoback Fort. I expect a full progress report upon my return service. I bet that's not legitimate. I bet service was like, this shit's about to go down here. Everything's probably going to be fucked. But I can't look like a coward because I serve Corypheus and he would probably kill me for that. So I'm going to create a pretense for me to not be here when things go down. Is probably what he did. He probably wasn't here on purpose, that dick. Amulet of Strength, Hook Blade. Every time I see a blue or a purple, I'm like, oh cool, that could be an upgrade. And then I remember where I am, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of ahead of the curve on that perspective. Is there anything over here? I might have already come down here. Let's open the door. But in Necroscope, he can talk to the dead, and the expanded fiction they use, south entrance, in that story is that when people die, there's an afterlife where they just, like, the consciousness exists even if the body's gone, but there's no... But the dead in Necroscope don't have a location where they have an afterlife. Is this gonna take me back outside? In Necroscope, there's no heaven and no hell, but there's sort of an afterlife because your mind keeps existing, but it's in a vacuum. So you only have your own thoughts and you don't have any outside stimuli. So when people are super psyched, the dead are super psyched to talk to the Necroscope because they have no one else to talk to. But great minds and inventors and philosophers and all the geniuses of history, they keep inventing forever and keep thinking forever. So they keep expanding infinitely to the point where, like, the guy who Mobius, who's known for the Mobius strip, the one-sided loop, it's like, this is a shape that only has one side, and you're like, what? And then you look at it and like, oh, it only has one side. How? Set up camp. I guess I can swap in my warriors now. Like, Mobius invents time travel, basically, and stuff like that happens, so things get crazy. But the reason I brought this up is because there's a 3-part series in that. There's a 3-part mini-series in the middle of the series. I have to bring Cassandra and Blackwall for their quests, and probably Vivian as the barrier mage. There we go. Oh, have to level people up. We'll get back to this in a sec. There we go, just did basic upgrades. I got, I got Cassandra passive, got Blackwall basic upgrades as far as, like, just more champion skills, basically. He's actually behind me, because he has, well, I guess most people will be behind me, because I think Vasti has the most opportunities to get amulets of power and additional skill points compared to everyone else. But anyway, the reason I brought that stuff up is a thing I've said like 4 times now. Whoops. There's a 3-part miniseries in the middle of Necroscope where they go to an alternate world that's like a vampire world. It's split between, like, Sunside and was it like Sunside and Dark Side, Moonside and Dark and Sunside or something like that, where there's a giant mountain range in a really specific orbit of the sun, where basically they have super long days and super long nights, like you would expect from, like, Alaska, I suppose, on Earth. And so
more giants. That can't be good.
Well, that's just gonna be an ongoing thing, I guess. What is it? Wait, Trouble the Darkspawn, seal the hole. It wants me to go back in there. I must have just completely missed something. I'm sure I'll just check it out later. We have one rift here, multiple question marks, and then we have somewhere around here we'll have the quest for Cassandra and Blackwall. But in there, there's like a vampire kingdom basically, and in there, all of their buildings are just crafted from flesh, and it's really nasty. Like, they've been enslaving people and they've been capturing people, and they've just been using their bodies to basically, hey guys, how you doing? You having a good time? Just gonna do a nice little AoE grab. Everyone look at me! Because they've been enslaving people and capturing people, they've just been building walls out of people, basically, and building castles out of people. Like, everything's made of bone and flesh, and it's, like, there's elements of, like, is there anyone left? Oh, there's just more of these guys. I thought the fight was over for some reason. There's elements of, even Zerg from StarCraft, where they have, like, giant floating living creatures with, like, gas bladders and stuff that levitate them, much like the Overlords, I believe they're called, from StarCraft. Can I get 2 of these at once? I don't think I can. I'll try. I might just miss both of them. Oh, I got both of them. Neato. Okay, I'll take it. We have 3 tank warriors with us at the same time right now, so things are gonna get a wee bit silly. But I don't think we're gonna be in too much danger of dying. Walking Fortress. I gotta remember to use Walking Fortress more often because it's temporary invincibility, and the cooldown's not even long, so I can just activate it all the time, really frequently, to just reduce the overall damage you take throughout the fight, which is really good for barrier. It's good. It's between that and barrier. That's just really good for maintaining guard and generally not taking health damage. I keep messing up every now and then. It's funny because I have Vasti's my warrior and he's my main character, so he's the guy I'm controlling during every conversation in the game. But I actually use him relatively infrequently in this playthrough. I'm often controlling other characters. Anyone who watched the whole thing will remember. In early parts of the series, I basically didn't control characters because I was mostly in tactical view and using the fast forward feature to move forward, progress time while not really controlling anyone individually, which, frankly, I enjoyed quite a bit. But since things have gotten easier, just for the sake of speed and not being ridiculously time-consuming, since tactical view isn't demanded of me to proceed, I'm mostly doing real-time. But even then, I was like, let's play as Vivian, let's play as the archers, and it's just fun playing as ranged characters and watching things play out sometimes. Although right now, oh hey, someone's getting their wish. I remember I got a comment from someone saying, hey, it would be funny if you had like all fighter characters. Now I have three melee warriors and 9 enchanter, which is basically a melee mage, so that's an all melee party basically. What's down here? Oh, there's an astrarium and inside there's some sort of cave and an astrarium. I realized I kind of circumvented that giant. That wasn't really my intention. I'm not skipping the giant or anything. I just kind of walked away, I guess. How do I get in this cave? Echoback Fort. Oh, he went back to Echoback Fort. That means the guy that took off should be around here somewhere. What is chiming on my map? Something over here? Is it going to be inside or outside? There's a good chance that it's inside the building. Let's try up here. Yeah, it's almost certainly inside the building. We'll find out when I get inside. But I want to finish out some more of this outside stuff first. Let's try to find the entrance to this cave. Oh, wait. I saw that brick wall. I'm sure that's probably a bashable brick wall, right? Let's check that out real quick. Can I break you? No. Ah, how do I get to the astrarium? There's no bash icon. Huh. And no open cave visible anywhere. I'll proceed through the area and maybe a mechanism will open it up, or maybe I'll have it. Maybe that keep, which looks partly underground, will just have access to inside there. Let's go deal with that giant. Seems like a logical thing to do next. My entire party. Wow. All three of my warriors currently have max guard. That is not a bad place to be in at all. Hey giant, pay attention to me. Hey giant, pay attention to me. Walking Fortress and focus ability. Wow, it's already activated again. What are you gonna do about... Wait, did I not have the ability to use it? Maybe I didn't. Giant! Giant! I'm using my abilities that's supposed to make you look at me. Stop not looking at me. You're making me feel awkward and unwanted. I feel like a silly... Oh, geez, Vivian went down. Maybe Vivian should hang out at a distance and just cast barrier on the party. I know that she's a knight enchanter and all, but I think she might not have enough damage reduction to justify what she's doing right now. Let's just let her do range stuff for a little while. Ow! Rude! Oh, right. I have to remember how to use Payback Strike. I have to remember that whenever I get knocked down, if I just immediately use Oh, this is what happened. I understand. This is why that everyone suddenly had why he suddenly had low hit points last time we fought this dude, and I wasn't sure why. Because the moment he falls down, suddenly he takes a bunch of damage. That was what was going on. Yep, having Vivian back off seems to be helping. Oh man, I was just thinking. Oh wow, that's a lot of drops. Oh, those are the giant's drops. Oh wow, Blackwall has. What happened? Wait. So Blackwall's using that ability that makes it so he takes a percentage of every. I think I think he takes 50% of the damage that everyone else is taking instead of them. Like, he diverts the damage to himself, but then he only takes half the damage himself that he's even being diverted to, so 25% of party damage is just removed altogether, and the other 25% goes straight to him, which is interesting. It's an interesting mechanic just in general. I'm wondering what happens if I have 3 warriors, or hell, it's even possible for me to get 4 warriors with Iron Bull if I spec them the right way. What if I have 3 tank warriors that all have that ability active at once? Like, where does damage go to at that point? Is what I'm wondering. Like, if everyone's diverting 25% of all incoming damage to everyone else, and a chunk of the damage is vanishing altogether, how much damage is even dealt? Does it keep stacking infinitely? Like, at some point, do you become next to invincible? I'm trying to think of how that ability works, though. I guess I could just look at Blackwall right now. Does he? Oh, he doesn't have it active right now. It might be, I don't know, I can't remember if it's a toggle ability. I don't really use it very much. I just let my character I'm not controlling be free to use it if he wants to. Charge? Yeah, you can't do so great when you're sitting down, can you? Let's try it right now. Let's do it. So now everyone's taking damage. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I still have full character control. I can use abilities and everything, but I'm also taking incoming damage for the party. How long can I keep this on? I have to investigate this real quick. Just now that I'm thinking about it, I just want to take a look at it. Duration 15 seconds. Okay, but yeah, damage transfer 50%. Cooldown time. Wow, you can keep it up. You only have to take it down 9 seconds at a time. You could have it up almost all the time, and it doesn't cost that much stamina. So if I had a whole party where it was set to a preferred skill, they might just use it all the time. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm curious how the I don't think I'm about to test it in the middle of this playthrough, but it might be fun to do as a silly thing sometime on my own. It might be amusing to see what exactly happens if I have three or four warriors that all have the skill active at once. Like, I wonder if like when you divert the damage to yourself, and then you take that damage, is it then diverted again back to other people, but at an even smaller percentage? Like, does it create an infinite feedback loop where you almost completely eliminate the damage, or does it only happen once and it's very carefully controlled? Because most competent developers would see that loophole coming and probably prevent it. But even then, it'd be pretty crazy to have a universal situation where no matter what's happening, a significant amount of damage coming in is just significantly dropped. Particularly what that means is that no spikes would happen. Like, a clear threat is, if you remember when I had an all rogue party where we had like no protections happening during that little cave area, and we very abruptly lost Cole because he took a huge spike of damage and just went down immediately. So if you could divert a bunch of damage all around the party just universally, then oh wow, the shield is massive on her. This used to be on Vasti and it was like in the middle of her back, but on her, fucking massive. Oh, surprise attack. I have to get used to where my fucking skills are mapped, because if I don't control a character consistently, like Blackwall and Cassandra have almost always been on autopilot, I don't actually have a great idea. I don't have their skills mapped very well for ease of use in real time, because I didn't have to map them so much when I was using them in tactical mode, because I would just find the skill myself and it would be fine. Is this the AoE? Yeah, because this one's the spell. This is just a cool looking character. The Templar character, or the Seeker character. No, it's no Templar, right? Right? Templar?